and hospitalization. This is leading to an acute shortage of oxygen treatments and driving a wave of death in parts of Africa, Asia, and Latin America. From a moral, epidemiological, or economic point of view, now is the time for the world to come together to tackle this pandemic collectively. I have called repeatedly for 10% of people in all countries to be vaccinated by September, and for that figure to rise to 40% by the end of the year. It would position the world on the path to vaccinating 70% of the people in all countries by the middle of 2022.
South Sudan's Ministry of Health has often said the uptake of the coronavirus vaccines is too low, coupled with logistical challenges in rolling out the vaccination exercise. In April, the government sidelined over 60,000 coronavirus vaccines donated by the African Union and the telecommunication company MTN over expiry date concerns. It also gave out 72,000 doses to Kenya due to expiration concerns. This news is coming to you live from iRadio Juba. President Salva Kiir has proposed a tax exemption on the importation of some equipment for telecommunication companies in the country. This, the president says, is to enhance mobile network connectivity in rural areas. Kiir, however, stated that this will be done as per the policies of the National Revenue Authority. He believes license financial burden on telecommunication companies will reduce the digital divide and increase digital literacy programs. President Kiir made the remarks during the launch of Digital Mobile Network Company yesterday.
In our desire to connect rural communities to mobile network, the government will explore options including tax exemption that will benefit importation of network equipment and the telecommunications tools. These equipment will help increase digital literacy program to our next generation for ICT-driven economy. The tax exemption I am proposing will be done in collaboration with the National Revenue Authority to ensure modalities for tax exemption are consistent with its mandate.
A 5-day trade exhibition to showcase Egyptian-made products will be launched in Juba later today. More than 400 Egyptian companies are expected to display various manufactured products, including processed foods, electronic accessories, and furniture. The event is organized by the South Sudan Minister of Investment and Industry in partnership with the private sector in Egypt. It aims to promote intertrade between South Sudan and Egypt through direct engagement of private sectors from the two countries. According to the Minister of Investment, the exhibition will attract foreign businesses to invest in South Sudan. This, Diomatok Ding says, will in turn create employment opportunities for young people in the country and boost the country's gross domestic products.
We in the Ministry of Investment, our intention is attracting the investors to come to South Sudan and then see the market opportunities which are available and then try to attract them through our laws to set up their own companies. Here, instead of bringing finished goods, they can come to South Sudan to set companies, which is going to help in creation of job opportunities to young people. That is the basic idea. The trade, always people can come here, and then if you identify a partner that you want to cooperate with, you can sign agreement, you can have an MOU, you can set a model of business how you cooperate. You can also buy immediately if you want to buy. If your aim is to come and buy goods, you can come and buy.
The nearly week-long event is expected to be officiated by the Vice President on Economic Cluster, Dr. James Wani-Iga, in the afternoon. At the commencement, there shall be signing of Memorandum of Understandings and Cooperations both at the private businesses levels as well as the government institution levels. 4 vehicles have been involved in a terrible accident on Kuburi Habuba in Kuburi Albino along Melekia Kato Road. According to an eyewitness, the accident involves a Land Cruiser V8, Mark II, Primo, and Noah. The cars have been damaged by the accident. Abraham Dow lives near the bridge. He narrated what happened.
Well, it was just in the morning at around 9. a trailer with two, carrying the one with two. It just came and then reaching Yomima modern pharmacy, then it lost control from there. And then that is when it ran down. Now, yeah, it hit the V that was parked, and then it went further. It almost hit a border that was coming towards this side of Kubralbino. Mm-hmm. But the border missed, and then it went and hit a Mark II. Then from Mark II, it went and hit another vehicle, Primo, that was behind Mark II. All these other three vehicles were coming toward this side of the bridge, but the V8 was parked. Then it went and hit the Noah that was driven by some Ethiopian guy.
You are still listening to iRadio News, and before approaching stories coming from the region and the international scene, at least 3 suspects have been detained in connection with the killing of a man at IDP camp in Bentiu last month. The deceased, identified as Riak Tol, was reportedly an employee of the Greater Pioneer Operating Company, GPOC. Police in Unity State said the 50-year-old man was shot and killed during an attempted robbery at the camp. According to an eyewitness, a stray bullet hit him after 2 armed men tried to rob another man of his phone. The first bullet injured the phone owner, while the second one fatally hit Riak Tol. Gabriel McCoy is the State Information Minister in Unity State.
Yeah, they are apprehended and the investigation is still going on. There is no clear evidence whether they are the one or not. The investigation is still going on, so we are waiting for the final investigation. So by now there is no certainty whether they are the one or not.
Authorities there have declined to name the suspected criminals whose behavior reportedly caused the panic among the IDPs. However, the information minister says calm has returned in the camp that was formerly protected by the UN.
The government is now in control of any critical situation with anything. That's why I told I have been there up to 8. I was in IDP camp, so from meeting there with the communities and all this, the situation is normal up to date.
This is iRadio News, and now my colleague Lugala Mulai joins us with the round of stories from the region and the international scene. Hello, Lugala.
Hello and good evening, Waja Emmanuel. Now let's take a look at what is making headlines in the region and the international scene. South Africa's Economic Freedom Fighters Party has condemned the deployment of military to violently hit Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal provinces. In a statement issued shortly after President Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address, the EFF called for political intervention in a widespread uprisings. The party said the deployment of military to the streets is not a solution to the civil unrest and that it will not be part of any decision to legitimize the deployment of the army. The EFF has said its lawyers will write a letter to the president to seek for the legal basis for the deployment of soldiers. Elsewhere, Ghana's First Lady has offered to refund all the allowances she has received since the president assumed office in 2017 following a public outcry over salaries. Rebecca Akufo-Addo also said she will not accept a salary that was recently approved by the country's parliament. She said in a statement that she had decided to refund all the monies paid to her as allowances amounting to 899,097.84 Ghanaian cedis, equivalent to $151,618. She said she did not request to be paid and had only received that which existed and attached to her status, a bare informality. Finally, Democratic politicians in Texas have left their state en masse in an effort to prevent Republicans there from passing a law to tighten voting rules. The move will temporarily paralyze the State House of Representatives, which requires at least 2/3 of the 150 members to be present for a vote. At least 50 House Democrats boarded 2 private jets from Austin to Washington, D.C. on Monday. The move comes amid a wave of voting restrictions in Republican-led states. Republicans urge the measures are essential for election security, but Democrats see them as an attack on the rights to vote. And that is all making headlines in the region and the international scene. Back to you, Waja Emmanuel.
Thank you, Lugala. And that joins us, Jordan Yamba, with the sports news.
First to local sport. South Sudan women's basketball team lost their first ever competitive game 95-65 to an experienced Egyptian side. Egypt got the first win of the AfroBasket Zone 5 qualifiers in the high-scoring game. A veteran Egyptian side made it tough for the young team of South Sudan as their star players Ranim El Gadwe and Soraya Mohammed scored 23 and 18 points respectively. In the second game, Rwanda overpowered Kenya. Playing at home, Rwanda created a comfortable lead and got a final score of 77-45. South Sudan plays Kenya today at 3 p.m., while Rwanda will later play against the experienced Egyptians. South Sudan head coach Lindsay Harding says the result was more about their own mistakes than Egypt's brilliance.
Well, it's not what we wanted or expected. I think there were a lot of jitters. There were a lot of mistakes that I had never seen this team make through all our time in training camp. I think they were just a little nervous, a little excited, and just didn't know what to expect. Hopefully they can kind of calm it down a little bit. I mean, if you look, we had, I think, 26 turnovers. That's kind of unlike how we play, so it's something to really look forward to. But on the other end, having the first time play, a couple of our players in the national anthem were like tearing up, crying a little bit. It's special, it's definitely special to be a part of it and be the very first.
The winner of this qualifier will earn a spot in the FIBA Women's AfroBasket 2021 to face 5 other teams already qualified for the tournament. In addition to hosts Cameroon, 2019 champions Nigeria, finalists Senegal, third-placed finishers Mali, as well as the fourth semi-finalist Mozambique have already been automatically qualified for the event. The 27th edition of the event will take place from September 17, 2021 to September 26, 2021. Elsewhere, England and Manchester United forward Marcus Rashford apologized for his penalty shootout miss and said he will never apologize for who I am after he was one of 3 players subjected to racist abuse following England's Euro 2020 final defeat by Italy. Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka missed their spot kicks and all 3 were targeted on social media after the game. A mural in Rashford's hometown of Withington was defaced after his penalty miss before it was covered in messages of support. Earlier yesterday, England boss Gareth Southgate said the abuse was unforgivable, while Prime Minister Boris Johnson and the Football Association have also condemned it. Metropolitan Police is investigating the abuse, while the UK Footballing Policing Unit has also launched an investigation. La Liga champions Atletico Madrid have signed Argentina midfielder Rodrigo De Paul from Udinese on a 5-year deal. De Paul, who was part of Argentina's Copa America winning side, will play in Spain for a second time in his career, having been with Valencia between 2014 and 2016. Spanish media have reported that the transfer fee is about 35 million euros. To basketball, the USA men's team have followed their shock loss to Nigeria on Saturday with an exhibition defeat by Australia. The 15-time Olympic gold medalists lost 91-83 in Las Vegas in a warm-up for the Tokyo Games. The defeat is the first time they have lost back-to-back exhibition matches since professional players started representing the team in 1992. Those are the latest sports stories this hour.
This is iRadio News, and to end this bulletin, here is the recap of our main stories. The August House has started the registration of the newly appointed members of Parliament. The World Health Organization has called on health authorities in South Sudan to roll out more vaccines across the country. And President Salva Kiir has proposed the tax exemptions on telecommunication equipment in the country. That is the end of iRadio Afternoon News. You can also get these stories and updates by subscribing to iRadio News Alerts on your MTN South Sudan number. Call 700 or dial star 700 hash and follow the instructions. If there's a story or an event you like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 912 986 986. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on Twitter at iRadio Juba. Like our Facebook page, iRadio. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, iRadio South Sudan, and watch our comprehensive interviews. You can also visit our website and stream live at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 1:30. I am Wojo Emmanuel. Thanks for listening.
Mimi nilikuwa na Vita, Ladium Dalela, and Maligonas Quetin.
أنا أعرف أنت رود أكل سيسي هم المراكب اللي تسمى قربتوا بس البافرة
وين يا شغل كويس ما دام قال في عقل بس لكن فجأة أنت بقدر أعرفه قبضوا أو جاني فوقه أنا ما أعرف أنا بونس اللي تاجر بعد تريك عشان بقدر فاهم أنا والله ناس تمتين ده
امتين والله كان دي شغل كويس أنا سمتين ده أنا جاهز روح ما يتابع لكن كده وري أنا هم نجوا ودي شنو دور ده لناس
10 عربات 10 مواتر رصيد مجاني وجوائز كتير تانين بس كان جيران دكان لا بجاز جنة
MTN BOD 10 Arabat le 10 Faizin 9 min fogo Toyota Yaris model 2020 wa Faiz Al Nihai Biligo Arabia Toyota RAV4 SUV 10 Nastanin Del Biligo Mowatir wa Gurush Risita MTN wa Hajatanin Al Kwais min MTN Bes kutu receipt be Alf Jine au Aktar be MTN promotion ta MTN de ita Biligo Arabia wa Mahatir Kulubat Edninos Bu kutu receipt katir ashan ita Biligo fursa ziada tanaja MTN Ashara kedena ihtafel sawa kulu shurut fifoko
MTN everywhere you go.